Madam Secretary, today we heard that the unemployment rate remained steady this month and there was actually jobs creation in the month of March. What's your reaction to that news?
Well, I think it is modest, a stable growth that we're seeing, and I just want to show you on our chart here that a year ago around this time we were losing well over 700,000 jobs, and you can see a steady up and down, but mostly in a positive trajectory. And if you see here, this is where we've added this last month 162,000 jobs, but we know that we can do more. We need to do better. The unemployment still remains very high for people who have been out of work for more than 6 months. It's obviously of great concern to us, so we know we have to do more.
Do you think we've turned a corner?
I think that what we're seeing is a steady improvement, but like most recessions, it takes its time. You will see some peaks and valleys, but I do see some positive indicators. You continue to see temporary services growing. That has added a number of jobs also to the economy. That's the first sign to show that there is a good indication that something is happening out there. And usually those jobs are accountants or construction workers or office managers. And then the second part that I see that shows us better hope is in the last 3 months, we've added about, I'd say, 40,000 jobs in manufacturing. This last month was 17,000. So that shows me that there's a bit of movement happening in the area of machinery and metals. So I do see that that is a hopeful sign. You continue to see growth also in healthcare and also in government, obviously in education and those areas.
Well, we have some questions from our listeners, viewers on Facebook and Twitter today, and this question comes from Sue Sanders, who wants to know how do we maintain being a world power when our manufacturing capabilities have been greatly diminished?
Well, I think if you look over the course of a decade, yes, we have lost a substantial number of manufacturing jobs. But I think with the infusion of support and incentives, both by tax credits and research and development credits that have been given by the government and that kind of planning to see how we can interject this new economy in the green renewable energy, that's going to help replace some of those manufacturing jobs. And just this week, I was out in Hudson, New York, and visited a solar cell institution that had previously been owned by IBM in the semiconductor area. They added 55 jobs there. They expect to extend and grow to about 100 more individuals. These are highly trained, highly skilled jobs that pay well above the average salaries here. And that's something that is a growing factor. They're actually going to be exporting those solar cells to develop the solar panels. And that, to me, at least gives me a good indication that we know that small investments like that are paying off.
Okay, finally, we have a question that's along those same lines from Kristen Nicole Shrug, who says, what job markets do you see having the greatest opportunities, not only this year, but into next year?
Well, healthcare, obviously, IT are very important sectors. We continue to see more jobs added in healthcare services. And I also, again, would say renewable energies. And that the range there goes from retrofitting homes, weatherization, from people working in wind turbine industries, people that were in construction that can now transfer those same skills into another high energy and more efficient, fuel efficient type of industry. So I see that as our future. We can become competitive just as China and India are making major investments. I think you're going to see that happening here, and it is happening.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. With Labor Secretary Hilda Solis, I'm Mark Hamrick, the Associated Press.